Learn English grammar, the present perfect tense. How to form the present perfect. We use the verb have in conjunction with the past participle. It's easy if we're using regular verbs. So for example, if we're looking at the verb to work, we use have plus worked. So in the simple present, you would say I work. In the simple past, I worked. And then in the present perfect, we would say I have worked. So the past participle is conjugated just like the simple past with regular verbs, as in lived. So we'd have in the simple present, I live, simple past, I lived, and in the present perfect, I have lived. However, it gets tricky with irregular verbs. Irregular verbs are conjugated differently than regular verbs in that you don't add the E and the D at the end of them. So, if you want more information about this and links on where you can find lists of irregular verbs, just check the links in the description below. So, here's some examples with irregular verbs. The verb to go in the past participle is gone. So we used have plus gone. So if we conjugated these in the simple present, we would say I go. But if we were conjugating in the simple past, we would say I went. However, using the present perfect with the past participle, it becomes I have gone. So gone is different from went. Same thing with a verb like to drive. Have driven. In the simple present would be I drive. Simple past, I drove. And in the present perfect, I have driven. So there's not really a specific rule for conjugating irregular verbs in the past participle. You'll just have to look at the lists of irregular verbs, see how they're used, and learn them through use and practice. Now let's talk about how to conjugate the verb to have in the third person singular. So far we've been using have plus the past participle. But in the third person singular, remember to use has for he, she, and it. Here's some examples using the sentences we saw before. He has worked. He has lived. He has gone. And he has driven. So now let's take a look at 5 ways to use the present perfect. Number 1, the present perfect is used in an action or situation that started in the past and continues in the present. So we have the example, I have lived here since 2003. Or we can say, he has worked there for several months. Number 2, the present perfect is used in an action performed during a period that has not yet finished. We have been to the mall 4 times. It has snowed a lot this month. Number 3, the present perfect is used in a repeated action in an unspecified period between the past and now. I have eaten there 14 times. She has visited me several times already. Number 4, the present perfect is used in an action that was completed in the very recent past, expressed by just. She has just left the building. They have just completed the exam. Number 5, the present perfect is used in an action when time is not important. I have read Pride and Prejudice. The dogs have gone to sleep. Okay, now let's look at forms of the present perfect. First of all, we have the affirmative form in sentences like, we have gone, when we're stating a fact. We have the negative form when we deny something or say something that hasn't happened in sentences like, we have not gone. And of course, we have the interrogative form when we're asking questions in sentences like, have we gone? So you can see that we put have before the pronoun or the subject there. Okay, let's look at some examples of the affirmative form of the present perfect. I have worked at McDonald's. You have worked for them 3 times. He has worked at Walmart his whole life. Now let's look at these same sentences in the negative form. I have not worked at McDonald's. You have never worked for them. He has never worked at Walmart. And now let's look at these same sample sentences in the interrogative form of the present perfect. Have I ever worked at McDonald's before? Have you ever worked for them? Has he worked at Walmart his whole life? Okay, time for some listening and speaking practice. I'm going to read sample questions and I want you to listen and repeat along with me. Have you ever worked before? Have you ever worked before? Have you ever worked before? Have you filled out many job applications? Have you filled out many job applications? Have you filled out many job applications? Have you ever worked at McDonald's? Have you ever worked at McDonald's? Have you ever worked at McDonald's? Have you ever been a manager? Have you ever been a manager? Have you ever been a manager? When have you held a similar position? When have you held a similar position? When have you held a similar position? Why have you decided this is the right career for you? Why have you decided this is the right career for you? Why have you decided this is the right career for you? Where have you worked previously? Where have you worked previously? Where have you worked previously? Whom have you helped by doing this? Whom have you helped by doing this? Whom have you helped by doing this? What have you done since your last job? What have you done since your last job? What have you done since your last job? How have you felt since quitting your previous job? How have you felt since quitting your previous job? How have you felt since quitting your previous job? How many times have you been fired? How many times have you been fired? How many times have you been fired? Have you had other jobs like this before? Have you had other jobs like this before? Have you had other jobs like this before? Okay, great. That's it for these sample questions. Now, let's do some present perfect exercises for you to practice conjugating these phrases. Choose the correct conjugation for each of the following sentences. I walk to school. How would you conjugate that into the present perfect? I'll give you 3 seconds. If you need more time, just pause the video. I have walked to school. How'd you do? Did you get it correct? Sentence 2. You go to work every day. You have gone to work every day. How'd you do with that one? Notice that was an irregular verb. Number 3. He plays the piano for us. He has played the piano for us. Remember to use has because it's in the third person singular. Number 4. We put peanut butter on our ice cream. We have put peanut butter on our ice cream. Number 5. They are nice at times. They have been nice at times. 6. He is very nice to me. He has been very nice to me. 7. I do exercises. I have done exercises. 8. You hit your brother. You have hit your brother. Next, we eat at Joe's Grill. We have eaten at Joe's Grill. And finally, number 10, they grow well around here. They have grown well around here. Okay, so how did you do? Did you have difficulty knowing when to use have and has, or did you have trouble conjugating irregular verbs into the past participle? If so, leave your questions in the comments below so we can get back with you and help you out. Answer them there in the comments, or maybe even record other videos to help you out. Remember, you can get more English lessons like this at exlenglish.com. And remember to subscribe to our channel so you're updated automatically when we release new videos. And please like and share these videos so that way we can get the word out to other people who want to learn English as well. So once again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.